With that, let's bring in Fox News contributor, former Wisconsin Congressman Sean Duffy. Sean, good morning to you. A few developments overnight on this story. One of them is the FBI confiscating Congressman Perry's phone. Do you think these two events are linked and that's what this raid on Trump's home really is all about?
Listen, if we think that the FBI is going after Donald Trump and executing a search warrant at Mar-a-Lago because they're after documents that he held over that were classified in his Mar-a-Lago home, I got a bridge to sell you in Florida. I mean, this is ridiculous. And so this is tied to Scott Perry. This is tied to January 6th. And Todd, you know this as a lawyer. As you execute a search warrant, you can say, I'm looking for documents in regard to the presidency of Donald Trump that he had in Mar-a-Lago. But the reality is, as they go through Mar-a-Lago, they're able to seize a ton of documents that are unrelated to the actual search warrant because they could be related. And therefore, they're able to take those back to the FBI and go through all of this information that's unrelated to his presidency, but also related to January 6th. And so, again, I think these two things are tied together. What outrages me, Carly, is the fact that the DOJ would go after a sitting member of Congress's cell phone. We have two co-equal branches of government. There's lines and procedures that aren't crossed between those two co-equal branches. And the fact that the FBI didn't work with Perry's attorney, the fact that he didn't work through Leader McCarthy or even Speaker Pelosi is a shredding of the lines between these co-equal branches. You don't have the executive branch, the DOJ, go after a member of Congress, but for going through certain procedures. So again, I'm outraged by this, but they're ruining all of these norms that we've had in Congress and in government that have made our government work. They're shredding them all, and therefore we kind of fall into this new era of American government, which I think is frankly quite frightening.
And Sean, you raise a really important point on the warrants. Once you're in the door of the residence or the establishment or whatever it is, if you see something, the bar is much, much lower for being like, well, I got to look at this too. Great point that you made. In your experience, have you ever heard of lawyers being kicked off of a private property when the homeowner wants the lawyers there in this context? To me, that is the most flabbergasting aspect of this whole thing. Trump's lawyers wanted to watch this procedure, and the FBI said they couldn't.
Well, listen, I'm shocked if this would happen with anybody else in America saying, listen, I've got a lawyer that's willing to work with you. You want documents. Let's negotiate this out, which is what the Trump lawyers were trying to do with the Department of Justice. But I'm not shocked with Donald Trump. I mean, this individual, this president has been harassed, harangued, prosecuted, and investigated for the last 6 years. So no, this doesn't shock me at all. They hate Donald Trump so much they're willing to eradicate all the norms that we've had in this country. And this is a really important point, Todd. When you execute a search warrant and you're looking through documents, you don't have to search through every document at Mar-a-Lago to see if it relates to your warrant. If you have boxes of documents in Mar-a-Lago, you grab them all because they could contain information in regard to the search warrant. You don't have to verify that they are related to the search warrant, and therefore, again, they're grabbing all kinds of documents that they're going to sift through and potentially use for other witch hunts against Donald Trump. So it doesn't shock me that they're doing this against Donald Trump. They've never stopped investigating him and thoroughly looking at him. And by the way, we should look back over the last 6 years. No one has been investigated more than Donald Trump, and they found nothing on him. Again, this has been said a million times, but you look at the kind of investigation that happened with the Russia collusion hoax. We all thought that Russia collusion was going to be a big story. Donald Trump was going down. He was going to be prosecuted. And then in the end, we find out this was a hoax by Hillary Clinton.
Right.
And the DOJ perpetuated it. The FBI perpetuated it. The media perpetuated it. And nothing was there. I think this is the same thing here with Mar-a-Lago. And it's made people, Republicans, angry. What they've done is they've declared war on the Republican Party. Democrats have, the DOJ has, the FBI has, political war, I should say. And what you're going to see is Republicans start to fight back and push back in a different way, which, again, I think they have to do it, but it's bad for democracy. It's bad for the norms we've had in this country for over 200 years. They get shredded, and then we get to this new place that we've never known as a country.
Well, you mentioned Hillary Clinton, and she's actually using this FBI raid to fundraise off her own scandal. She posted this tweet yesterday. It's getting a lot of attention. She says, every but her email hat or shirt sold helps our partners defend democracy, build a progressive bench, and fight for our values. Just saying. So it's kind of interesting that she feels so comfortable promoting the fact that she broke the law.
Listen, this is pretty rich, right? Hillary Clinton, who had a private server that had classified information on that private server, and she shared that information with Uma Abedin and others who had access to the server through their cell phones, broke all kinds of laws, should have been prosecuted, never was. Now trying to raise money off Donald Trump's hoax warrant, search warrant that they've searched Mar-a-Lago because he retained some documents from his time as the president of the United States that the allegation goes that belongs to the archives. I mean, this is so rich. This woman has no shame. I mean, the fact that she's going to try to raise money off this, but it also bears the question, what's she doing? Does she think she's going to run for president? Is she raising money for Hillary Clinton? Is she raising money to give it to candidates so they support her when she runs in 2024? Hillary Clinton should have rode off into the sunset. She should be spending time with Chelsea and their grandchildren, maybe she doesn't want to spend time with Bill, but probably with her husband, Bill Clinton. And the fact is, these are the best years of her life, and she's raising money in politics. That means she's making a play for 2024 should Joe Biden get stabbed in the neck politically, get iced out. She thinks she has a shot at this.
She should just stay in the woods, according to Sean Duffy. Meantime, it was a big primary night. Connecticut, Vermont, Wisconsin, and, of course, your home state of Wisconsin. Did I say Wisconsin?
I
meant Minnesota.
Yeah, there you go.
I apologize.
Well,
in Wisconsin, the focus there's the big governor's race. What's your takeaway?
So this was Donald Trump endorsed Tim Michels, won the race. Again, the power of the Trump endorsement. Rebecca Clayfish, she was the lieutenant governor, nice person, lieutenant governor under Scott Walker, I should say, and she was endorsed by Walker, kind of Pence as well. So you had the Pence-Walker endorsement versus the Trump endorsement with Michels. What I think happened here, this race would have been much closer. I think a 2 to 3 point race. I still think Michels would have won, but I think there were a lot of Republican voters in Wisconsin who were angry about what happened at Mar-a-Lago with that search warrant. And if they were on the line, if they hadn't made a decision yet, they came out and voted for Tim Michels because Donald Trump endorsed Michels. This was a way for them to support Donald Trump and what was going on at Mar-a-Lago in the search warrant. And people who maybe wouldn't have voted yesterday in the primary actually said, you know what, I'm so ticked off, I'm going to go vote and show my support for Donald Trump and his endorsed candidate, Tim Michels. That's why you see this 5-point victory in Wisconsin for Michels. So it was, again, the power of the Michels endorsement is huge. I'm sorry, of the Trump endorsement is huge, and it played out in Wisconsin. Can I make one last point on this? It was interesting in our state. I come from the northern part of Wisconsin. It's rural. It's Trump country. You look at the pockets where Trump didn't do well. Rebecca Clayfish won, whether it was the Green Bay area, Milwaukee area, and Madison area. But everything in between in our state, Tim Michels won, and that's where Trump, really performed well when he won in 2016 and almost won in 2020.
And Sean, before we let you go, want to talk about the other side of the aisle. Minnesota Congresswoman and squad member, of course, Ilhan Omar. She narrowly won her primary race, just beating out a pro-police candidate named Don Samuels. So close for Don Samuels, but no cigar there. What are your thoughts?
Well, listen, it's the power of incumbency. That's a big deal. You're able to raise money and you campaign for several years while even you're in office. People get to know you. They know your name. But the fact that she's such a far-left progressive, that she won by a couple points here, shows that she's losing the support of her base in the cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. And so, again, shocking that it was that close, that she could have lost. She probably is feeling pretty good this morning that she eked that one out. But again, I think if you look at her community, they don't support the far left, especially social agenda. They might be, fiscally liberal, but they're socially conservative, and Ilhan Omar is not, and that didn't resonate well, which is why she almost lost.
Yeah, they don't want to be shot in the streets. Crazy.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of, we're going to get to that in just a little bit. Sean Duffy, thank you for joining us on a wide range of topics today. We appreciate it.